The second day after I gave birth, I already wanted a second child. Selfish? I don't know if it is selfish, but we are prepared.
太不负责任了啊！这样老才生，孩子很年轻的时候就要走了，身边有很多这样的声音。
I must admit, as a human being, I thought to myself, what are we doing? This is a hard thing for him, our child, to be going through, and I just hope he's okay.
Hi, I'm Swan. I'm 53 years old this year.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm 63 years old this year.
So you were 39 years old when you first when you got married with him? You never thought of having a baby?
I always wanted to have a child. It had never stopped, but I just didn't pursue it further when I was 40. So at 45, both my colleagues went for IVF and it turned out well. So they recommended me to do IVF. And so then I went. It wasn't a very good news too. It was completely discouraging. And then, so I gave up. After COVID, I went to the States to visit my brother. He has twin daughter. And I stayed with him in December for a month.
She fell in love with babies all over again.
Yes. So I came home and I contacted my ex-colleague who also did IVF in Bangkok. So she gave me the contact and then I contacted the clinic and I make an appointment. That's it.
我是邱丽丽，今年53岁，我是王希跟王欣的妈妈。
我是 David Ong， 我也是53岁。
我们是42岁结婚，然后呢，结婚之后不多久就一直有想要生孩子的念头，本来我就是把它不当一回事，因为都已经这把年龄了嘛，对吗？可是那个 baby 的 image 就一直在我的脑里面。起来的时候，第一个 image 就是 baby， 睡觉之前最后一个 image 也是 baby。然后我就跟我的先生讲了，说，要不要？不然我们就试试看，要不要有一个孩子这样子。
老公那时候的第一个反应是
笑啊。
为什么？
因为都42岁了，但这个时候才来想要孩子。
可是那个 baby 的 image 就一直挥洒不去，所以我又在revisit 啦，我又在问他，然后我说不然我们就再试多一次啦，然后他就讲 OK，然后我们就去试咯。然后头我是试了半年的自然的，然后就没有动静，因为我那个时候已经43、44嘛，然后我就说我没有时间再等，然后我就回家就跟他说，不然我们试一试 IVF 要不要？
我想了很久actually，我是给他纠缠不清，我才终于答应说因为我是担心到这个高龄产妇的问题嘛，这个问题也是一直的在我的脑海里面，我就说给他试一次咯，因为要成全他的心愿。
所以我觉得他这样子说 OK， 我们就试一次，有就有，没有就没有，对我来讲我觉得也是 OK。
根据世界卫生组织的定义，分娩年龄超过35岁就算是高龄产妇。2023年，新加坡的整体生育率跌至 0.97， 创下历史新低，但是高龄产妇的比率却提升了。数据显示，仅2023年1年，本地就有19名孕妇的年龄在50岁以上，其中3人甚至超过了55岁。相比过去1989年至2009年的21年间，本地50岁以上的孕妇只有6人。2010年至2022年，总数虽然增加到了42人，但平均下来还是没有去年的19人来得多。这些高龄产妇要面对哪些风险呢？
第一，他们会比较难怀孕了。第二，如果怀孕的话，有流产的风险，因为他们的年龄、他们的卵子的 quality 可能没有这么好。第三呢，就是可能有一些基因的问题，好像比如唐氏综合症，扫描的时候可能会发现胎儿有一些器官的问题，这些都是高龄产妇比较普遍一点的。
那现在不是很流行冻卵吗？假设
28岁的时候我冻了卵，可是我到了45岁，我才遇到了我的先生。我想要做怀孕的这个动作，也同样容易流产吗？
冻卵的话，就是它的卵子的 quality 会比较好，对不对？
对。
所以可能基因啊，或者是染色体的问题可能会减少。不过，当配好的胚胎放回子宫的话，妈妈的年龄还是40多岁，所以流产的风险还是比较高。
陈医生也是黄秀璇的妇产科负责医生。他说，秀璇在怀孕前就有高血压和高血糖等疾病，再加上超过50岁怀孕，风险比一般孕妇更高。秀璇在孕期内非常小心，但还是遇到了危险的状况。
When I get to 34 weeks, Remy was quite big and I felt like I couldn't breathe. I cannot lie down, I have to sit up. But what scared me is I feel like I cannot catch my breath. And then he said, okay, we can let him out. Unfortunately, when he was born, the lung was still not fully developed yet. So he has to be in ICU for 6 days.
I was quite scared because I thought to myself, we've been through so much, but she has been through a whole lot more than I have, obviously, because she's the mother. She's carried him all this time. You see this tiny little baby right there and you think, wow, I just hope he's going to be okay.
At this moment, do you feel that it's very selfish for you to bring the baby to have to go through this? You may even know that Remy probably don't remember that. Did you regret?
I must admit, as a human being, I thought to myself, what are we doing? This is a hard thing for him, our child, to be going through.
I felt really sad that he has to go through that, really. No matter how much I want a child, I would never want him to suffer, no matter what. Looking at him at the time, I do feel like, oh, my poor baby. If only I can hold him back for another week or two. Maybe he didn't have to have all this tube inside him.
Remy. Okay, now that your child has turned 1 and you have experienced the whole thing, now you are more experienced, have you ever thought of having a second child?
Oh, the second day after I gave birth, I already wanted a second child.
My God, Steve.
I know, right? And I said to her, one thing at a time, please. I was like,
And what did Dr. Chia say?
He just looked at me and said no.
yeah, he said,
He didn't even have to say anything. He just said no. Yeah.
He talked to me as well. He said, no, you talk some sense to your wife. He said, it's no, okay? No. Don't worry, doctor. I'll talk to her. You talk to her.
通常剖腹产后，我们也不鼓励这么快怀孕，至少要等1年啊，或者是1年半。而且她的病情我们还不知道稳不稳定，不知道她的血压还可以控制好吗？她的血糖会不会进步？这些都会有一些影响啊。
高龄产妇有一个孩子已经不容易，为什么还会想要生第2个呢？
那个故事是这样子的，因为我们生完第1胎，所以我们还有那个冻卵在那个诊所，我们就开始想，我们剩下的那个冻卵要怎么样？我们有几个选择啦，一个就是丢掉，另外一个就是做多1次，另外一个就是捐出去。起初我们2个都是决定 OK 丢掉，然后要有一个人打电话去那个诊所说麻烦你丢掉，对吗？然后就2个人就在那边你打咯，然后他又叫我你打咯，然后我又叫他你打咯，然后2个都不要打，因为我不知道啦，我们觉得就不知道为什么就是不忍心把它丢掉，你明白吗？
就去尝试多1次咯。
就那么幸运的，又有了第2个孩子。
Yeah.
Now your son is 1 year old, but you are already 63. Yes. You are 53, right? How long more can you accompany your kid?
When we're going to have our baby, we make sure that we are not reliant on him when we grow old. We also want to make sure that if anything happened to us early, there are different people who are willing to take care of him. That's very important. I don't think it's just because of our age. I feel that it's good that every parent think that way, because even though my mother gave birth when she was 18 years old, she never expect any of us to take care of her when she's old or when she's sick, because they are prepared. And I have that mentality from my parents.
Papa.
Jack.
No, that's not Papa, but it doesn't matter.
Jack.
那如果现在有一个妈妈43岁，她想要生孩子，你会有什么建议给她？
你要看你自己要不要，因为生孩子是一辈子的。我觉得是你的 mind, body and soul， 你自己要准备好。如果你想要，你也不要去听身边的那些话，你想要你就去做。
When more women are giving birth at a later age, would you encourage that?
I feel that if you're already at that age, for whatever reason that you didn't have baby before that, if you're already at the age where I was and you want to have baby, yes, I feel that it's possible. It's good journey, but I'm not saying that women should postpone giving birth earlier. If they could have it earlier, why not?
When was that?
Later on.